Hi, so let us continue with the OSI model. In the last video, we have discussed the first two layers of the OSI model, that is physical and the data link layer. So in this video, we will discuss the functions of the next two layers. So today in this video, we will discuss the third and the fourth layer of the OSI model, that is the network layer and the transport layer. So let us start with the network layer. Now as we know, there are 7 layers in the OSI model, and the network layer is the third layer of the OSI model. So being the third layer, the network layer will receive the data from the transport layer. Then at the network layer, it will add its information and pass the packet to the data link layer. The data link layer will add its information and then pass the data to the physical layer. Physical layer will then convert the bits to signals and send it over the transmission medium. Then at the receiver side, the signals will be received at the physical layer. The physical layer will convert the signals to bits and pass it on to data link layer. The data link layer will remove information for it and then pass the data to the network layer. The network layer will remove the information for it, that is, it will remove the header and pass the data to the transport layer. Now we also need to know that the information at the network layer is known as the packet. Next, let us discuss the network layer functions. Now, the main function of the network layer is source to destination delivery. Now, consider we have a network A which uses say bus topology, and say suppose we have a network B which uses star topology, and both the networks will be connected some intermediate nodes such as routers. Now, say suppose A3 from network A wants to send some data to B1 from network B. So we can say that A3 is the source and B1 is the destination. So network layer is concerned with source to destination delivery. Or in other words, we can say that it is concerned with machine to machine delivery. That is concerned with how a machine in one network can communicate with another machine in another network. Now A3 cannot send the data directly to B1. It has to go through intermediate nodes. That is, A3 will first send to R1 and then R1 will send to R2 and then so on. But delivering the data from one hop to another hop, that is say from A3 to R1 or say from R1 to R2, is the function of the data link layer which we saw in the last video. So hop to hop delivery is done by the data link layer, but the function of source to destination delivery is of the network layer. So this is the figure which is given in the textbook for Rosen Data Communication and Networking. Now say for example, A wants to send data to F and A and F are in different networks. Then A will first send it to intermediate node B, B will then send to intermediate node E, and then E will send it to F. So sending the data from A to B or B to E or E to F is hop to hop delivery, which is the function of the data link layer. But network layer is concerned with source to destination delivery. Next, let us discuss some more functions of the network layer. The first one is source to destination delivery, which we have already discussed. Second is logical addressing. Now, in order to perform source to destination delivery, logical addressing is important, which means that the IP address or the logical address will be attached at the network layer. So in this figure, the network layer will receive the data from the transport layer. Then at the network layer, it will attach the source and the destination IP address in the header of the packet and then pass the packet to the data link layer. And at the receiver side, if the destination IP address matches with that of the receiver's IP address, then the headers will be removed and the data will be passed to the transport layer. Next functionality is routing. Routing meaning the route has to be decided. In simple words, we can say that the path will be decided. Now say for example, A3 wants to send data to B1. So A3 will first send data to its intermediate node, that is R1. Now R1 may be connected to different other nodes, that is R1 is connected to R2 as well as this network C. So R1 will check its routing table to determine which is the route that will lead to destination B1. So R1 will then know that it has to send to R2. R2 will use this routing table and then check where it has to send the data. Also, there are various routing algorithms used to determine the shortest path. Next, let us discuss the transport layer. The transport layer is the fourth layer in the OSI model. So being the fourth layer, the transport layer will receive the data from the layer above it, that is from the session layer. Then at the transport layer, the data will be divided into small segments. Also, the transport layer will add its information in the header of each segment and pass the data to the network layer. The network layer will then add its information and then pass the data to the lower layers. Then at the receiver side, the information will be received by the network layer from the lower layers. The network layer will then pass it on to the transport layer. The transport layer will remove the information for it, that is, it will remove the headers and pass it on to the session layer. Also, we need to know that the information at the transport layer is known as segment. Next, let us discuss transport layer function. One of the main function of the transport layer is process to process delivery. Now consider this is the network A and this is network B. So suppose devices in network A are connected using bus topology and devices in network B are connected using star topology, and these are the intermediate nodes. Now suppose A3 wants to send data to B1. Now A3 cannot directly send data to B1. The data will go through connecting devices, that is A3 will first send to R1, then R1 will send to R2 and so on. So as we discussed earlier, the hop-to-hop delivery is the responsibility of the data link layer. That is, transferring data from A3 to R1 or R1 to R2 is the responsibility of the data link layer. And transferring the data from the source machine to the destination machine is the responsibility of the network layer. So network layer is concerned with source to destination delivery. But the sender's machine will have many processes running on it, or the receiver's machine will have many processes running on it. So exactly which process is sending the data on the sender's machine or which process is receiving the data on the receiving machine is the responsibility of the transport layer. So transport layer is concerned with process to process delivery. So to achieve process to process delivery, the port number or port address is assigned to every process. Next, let us discuss some more transport layer functions. First one is process to process delivery, which we have already discussed. Second is service point addressing. Now to achieve this process to process delivery, service point addressing is important, which means that the port address of the sender and the receiver will be assigned in the header of each segment. So that is the meaning of service point addressing, that is the port address or the port number of the sender as well as the receiver will be attached in the header. Next function is segmentation and reassembly, which means that at the sender side the transport layer will divide the information into segments and also it will assign sequence number along with the port number. So sequence number and port number will be assigned in the headers of each segment, and at the receiver side the segments will be reassembled. So as a result it is known as segmentation and reassembly. Next function is connection control. Now the transport layer uses two main protocols, that is TCP and UDP. The TCP is connection oriented, which means that it will set up a connection before sending the data. So it will be more reliable, whereas UDP is connectionless, which means it won't set up any connection before sending the data. As a result, it is less reliable as compared to TCP. Now this TCP and UDP we will study later in detail in the upcoming videos. Next functionality is flow control. Now flow control is concerned with the speed of data transmission. Now say for example, the sender is sending the data very fast and receiver is very slow at receiving the data. So in that case, receiver may be overflowing with messages and may even discard some of the data. Hence, to avoid this problem, flow control mechanisms are used. Now this flow control we have already discussed in the previous video. That is, flow control mechanism is even applied at the data link layer. But at the data link layer, flow control is from hop to hop. But in transport layer, flow control is from end to end or process to process. Next functionality is error control, which will make sure that the entire message arrives without error, that is without any damage or without any loss. Now this error control mechanism is applied even at the data link layer, but at the data link layer error control is applied from hop to hop, whereas in transport layer error control is from process to process.